Morning, everybody. We're just waiting for a few more people to come on. So this is our business workshop, which we do every month, and we have some great speakers. Omar Periu happens to be a favorite of ours at the Chamber, and he speaks once or twice a year. We love him, and I think everybody here is going to love him as well. He's just very, very dynamic, and he knows he's very special to us. So Omar, we're really happy you're here today. For those of you that do not know me, I am Allison Muccio. I'm the Membership Development Manager for the Chamber. We are recording this so that we can put it up on our YouTube channel later. If you have not joined our YouTube channel, please do. There's some wonderful content on there. I'm going to go ahead now and introduce our speaker, Omar Periu. Although the terms dynamic and high energy describe Omar Periu as he is today, they aren't exactly the words which portrayed his early career. Omar and his family fled Castro's regime when he was only 7 years old. They arrived in Miami with no money, no family or friends, and nothing but the clothes on their backs. Omar proudly wears his rags to riches story for others to hear about and learn from. Not knowing enough about success, Omar sought out and studied the masters. He observed the difference between the performances of top achievers and those barely making it. By the time he turned 31, he owned some of the most profitable fitness facilities in the United States. From his modest beginnings as a take-it-on-the-chin salesperson, Omar knew the pain of failure, and that's how he developed his zero-to-wealth systems, the investigative selling principles, the one-minute meeting effective presentation system, and from management to leadership. Implementing these into his own career, he soon became one of the top professionals in his field. He has personally delivered more than 5,000 seminars and training programs. He has trained more than 2 million people in today's Fortune 500 companies. He has been a featured speaker at events with superstars Zig Ziglar, General Colin Powell, Larry Bird, Jim Rohn, Terry Bradshaw, Larry King, Tony Robbins, and so many more. He is a member of the National Speakers Association and has been inducted into the prestigious International Platform Association. His articles are published in Success Magazine, Sales and Management Magazine, Selling Power Magazine, and Martial Arts Success Magazine. Omar helps groups and individuals learn how to overcome fear and handle rejections, and encourages you to kick your counterproductive habits and become a calculated risk taker. He asks you to think about where you are now, where you want to be, and how to get there. And without further ado, Omar Periu.
Thank you, Allison. Thank you, everyone. Good morning. How's everybody doing? And if I was there, we'd say unbelievable, right? Because I always start all my events with the word unbelievable, because no matter how your day is, unbelievable is going to cover it either way. Because when I started in business, people would say, how you doing? And I was just getting started. I said, I'm not doing so hot. They'd say, how's your business? I said, well, I'm just getting started. How you doing? Well, I'm not. And that, so I talked to my mentor, Zig Ziglar and Tom Hopkins. I said, what would be something I could say? Because people don't want to do business with me because I'm just getting started. He says, use the word unbelievable because it covers it either way. So from now on, when somebody asks you, how's your day? Just say unbelievable and watch the reaction. So I'm excited to be here. I'm excited because I love working with the winners. You are all winners. Anyone that works on themselves to become better is a winner. And I am proud to be a member of the Chamber. I live in Boca Raton, and I've been with the Chamber forever. And in fact, I knew Troy when he was the assistant to the assistant to the assistant. And now he and I become really good friends, and Sarah and Allison and the whole team. I'm really proud. I got to tell you, this chamber and the Boynton Beach Chamber, now that we're all together, this is the strongest chamber in the country. I can tell you that right now. I speak everywhere in the country for chambers, and they are the best of the best of the best. So without, I want to get into teaching. I'm not going to talk about myself. I think that was, after Allison finished there, I was like, wow, I'm kind of tired from all this. Anyway, I'm kidding around. So let's get going. I'd like to pop that PowerPoint up if we could. Today is called How to Get the Competitive Edge. We've all had a lot of changes since March from last year, including myself, guys. I do 50 speeches a year with these huge audiences from 2,000 to 30,000 people. And my business, like we were talking earlier, I was telling the team that I only have done 3 events, live events, all of 2020. So to get the competitive edge, we've got to do everything a little different. I'm going to be covering a lot today. So I hope you guys, we are recording this, or take good notes. And I'm going to really get into what we need to do first and foremost to stay on top of our game. And I'm going to talk about sales techniques, how to handle attitude and failure and rejection, how to keep a winning edge, and how to close better. So if that's what you want to learn, you're in the right place. So let's get started. First and foremost, I'd like you all to follow me. And this is part of the seminar, never lose an opportunity to have people follow you and build yourself on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever you do. I've really changed my structure to all online. I thought I would be doing this 3 to 5 years ago, but the moment this happened, I took my team, we redid our websites, we created everything online, our ebooks, everything. We're on Audible, Teachable, Udemy, iTunes, all of that. So you guys have to realize that whatever you're doing now, you've got to go to the next level and get with what's going on right now, because this is the future. All right. The first thing you need to be successful, you got to be fired up. And obviously I'm fired up for all of you. How do I get fired up? Well, would you write this down? You got to have a real strong purpose. My purpose is to help you guys right now make more money, be more streamlined, and be more effective in 2021. So you got to be fired up. I have a little saying that people don't buy from dead people, right? So if you're going to be in business, you got to be fired up. So what I want you to do before you speak to someone, whether it's on a Zoom, a Skype, a conference call, a phone call, or face-to-face, I want you to measure your energy from 1 being dead, 10 being at the top of your game, and be at the top of your game before you talk to somebody, right? You can always bring it back a little bit, but it's better to start energetic and smile, as from my mentor Zig Ziglar say, if you want people to like you before you walk in, smile from ear to ear like you have a banana in your mouth, and then walk in. You can always make the adjustment. And if any of you ever saw him, he always had that permanent smile on his face. He was amazing. I miss that. He's like my grandpa. So here's what I'm going to teach you today. Number 1, self-mastery. The biggest challenge I've been seeing for 2020 is people losing their confidence. I want to work on self-esteem, self-image, because self-esteem and self-image equals self-confidence. And we have done a lot of research. As you saw, I have 23 best-selling books. And the research shows in these books for keeping people confident that your self-esteem and self-image is very important, because it will give you confidence. And the only time you stop working towards your goals, sales goals, business goals, personal goals, is when you lose confidence and you become immobilized. So I'll teach you self-mastery today. Remember, the mind is the steering wheel of the body. So if you tell yourself it's going to be a great day, it's going to be a great day, it's going to be a great day, it will be a great day. If you tell yourself it's going to be a terrible day and your day is going to be just terrible, you own it. Whatever you tell yourself, you own it. So please, if it doesn't serve you, don't say it, don't own it, don't think it, okay? Next, I'm going to give you some tools. I'll teach you some tools today. I believe that the biggest challenge that everyone I'm training, and I'm still doing 50 Zoom calls for BB&T, United Bank, Zep Manufacturing, you name it, IT companies, SurferNet, Johnson & Johnson. Most people are having challenges prospecting. So I'm going to talk about prospecting today for you guys, and how to handle that and rejection and failure. Next, Got to learn to take action. And the way I do that is I have you guys, if you will please do what I teach, write down the 10 most important things you must do the next day at the end of your workday. Some of you have kids. Some of you have other things that you do after work. So I used to tell people to do it before they go to bed, but I think people are exhausted by the time they go to bed. So I want you at the end of your work day, wherever that is, whether it's at home, at your office, in your truck, in your car, take out your laptop, a pad of paper, or write down. I write down and use my laptop and my team, and I write down the 10 most important things I must do the next day. So when I wake up, I have a plan. I have a little saying, any entrepreneur that wakes up without a plan is unemployed. So you got to wake up with a plan. That way, when you wake up, you grab your coffee or tea or whatever you drink, and you look at it, and you go work out, and you're ready to go, okay? So it's really important that you take action now, today. One of the things that my dad taught me when I was a young man, and my father and mother, they came from Cuba. They were successful there. But when they came here, they lost everything. They're great people. My dad was an entrepreneur, had the entrepreneur spirit. But my dad was the employee gate guard at the Boca Raton Resort and Club, and my mother was a maid. But they gave me that entrepreneur spirit, and he always said, never put anything off for tomorrow that you could do today. And he says, and then my mentors taught me that never put anything off for tomorrow that you can have your team do today with you. So if you're a one-on-one business, make it happen. If you are one-on-one and you have a team, make it happen and let them make it happen, but don't put anything off, and make sure that everybody's doing their job, right? So what gives you the competitive edge? Training for today's entrepreneurs. First thing, purpose. Work to learn, don't work for money. Work to learn, don't work for money. Look, the one thing I learned from my mentors was to, work to learn, don't work for money. What does that mean, Omar? What it means is the better you become, the better your gifts, your tools, your skills, your habits, whatever you do in life, no one can take that from you. One of the things that I really love is I mentor a lot of companies and individuals, and I work with all companies like IT, health clubs, of course, that was my forte, fitness centers, wellness centers, you name it, I do it, door-to-door, ZEP manufacturing, can you imagine? I work with the U.S. Army recruiters. So the one thing I know is that if you learn the skills I'm about to teach you, you will be unstoppable and you can do anything you want in life. But it all begins with a strong enough purpose. Why are you doing what you do? Is it because of your partner, your kids, your parents? Like for me, one of my goals was to buy my parents a home because they worked at the resort and they lived in an apartment. So my goal was to buy them a home, and that was my first goal. And I was able to find a little foreclosure here in Boca, and I bought it. And I drove my mom up as a maid and said, "Here's your house." And she started crying. So that was my purpose. And then, now I have my kids, and then you guys are my purpose to help you. So work to learn, don't work for money. So if you don't know what your purpose is, I want you this weekend to find a place where you can relax and reflect. Now I start reflecting, and I hope you guys are okay with this. I start with the power of prayer, and then I relax, and I'll even put some music on, or I'll go somewhere like on the ocean here at the resort, and I'll listen to things, and I'll just start letting my mind relax and reflect. And that's how you're going to get your purpose. Your purpose is your why. Once you have your why, then you want to get your what. What do you want, right? Write down. It could be more than one thing. My first goal when I was broke was I wanted a car that ran every day. I used to walk to work all the time. I wanted to live in a bigger apartment. I lived in a 200 square foot apartment. I wanted to eat regular food. I was eating tuna out of cans. I hate tuna out of cans now. So, I had different purposes. And then my parents, of course. So you've got to say, what's my why? What's my what? And then when do you want it? You got to have time frames. You got to write down what you want and time frames. And then get ready to take massive and immediate action, and don't expect anything to be easy, because the most businesses are failing today because FTI, failure to implement strategies and systems. You've got to stay on top of your game. General Colin Powell, a dear friend of mine, said to me when I was a young man, and we're still friends, he said, son, if you work hard on yourself, when the tough times are here, when times become relatively easy, you're going to be well, he said a beast, but you're going to have greatness. And so it's important that you work really hard to get all your system structure and everything set up right now. So when we start getting to go out and do more things, you can be like on top of your game and more, right? And that's my wish for you. All right. So next, you've got to master the tools, meaning be a product of your product. So understand your product so well that you are a PPS. A PPS is one of my little things that I have in my book, Investigative Selling. A PPS is I am a professional problem solver. Whatever you do, if you think real estate, if I'm a real estate agent, I'm your person. If you think moving, I'm your company. If you think limousines, I'm your person. Whatever it is, I'm your PPS. I am your professional problem solver. If you think mortgages, I'm your person. If you think foundations, I'm your person. You be the source for this company, for your company. All right? I am a PPS, professional problem solver. Next, you need to master the power to influence and persuade. My program is called Investigative Selling and Negotiation Skills. I'm going to take you through some of those things because I think I'm going to focus more on prospecting and rejection and failure today, because I think that's where most of the challenges are with everyone I'm training around the world, believe it or not. I just did a call at 7 a.m. for a company in the UK called SurferNet, and one in Spain. They're both there, and everyone's having the same challenges. And it's called getting person to person, point to point, getting in front of more people and companies. So I'm going to cover that for you. So the first thing I want you to do that I told you earlier is pre-plan and prepare. So pre-plan and prepare. So for instance, I worked on this PowerPoint for you guys and customized it because I wanted to work on the things that I felt, could help you. And because, I love this community. I love Boca Raton. I love the Boynton Beach area. I love this whole area. I love the people. I just really enjoy everybody. I love the camaraderie. We have great camaraderie here. We all help each other. So I want you guys to pre-plan and prepare. Again, wake up with a plan. Number 2, don't talk to anyone unless your energy's up. Number 3, make sure that you are doing the things that you need to do to make you feel good. Like, for instance, I get up, I have a cup of coffee, a handful of almonds. I go to the gym. I work out. I work out 7 days a week. The only time I don't work out is if I feel a little tension somewhere, my back or something, I'll take a day off. And I don't do long workouts anymore. I'll do a short workout. I used to work out for 2.5 hours. Now I work out, 45 minutes to an hour. It keeps me going. Why? It releases those endorphins in your mind. So whatever you do, whether take a walk, swim, ride a bike, whatever you do something to move your body. Now, if you're not able to do it in the morning, find a time during lunch or after work. Next, make sure you eat right. It takes a lot of energy to be an entrepreneur, especially you guys working from your homes. I got one student who's a top producer, by the way, and he says that by 3:30, he says he looks at his a house, and he's got this area where he loves to relax, and he says it starts calling me around 3:30. So if you don't eat right, you're gonna go pass out for the rest of for an hour and then lose your energy. But it's okay to take a quick nap, but just got to be careful. So eat right, exercise, and feed your mind positive thoughts. What I do is I'll put on one of my mentors. I have a dear friend, Les Brown, who I do a lot of work with. Tony Robbins, Zig Ziglar, Brian Tracy. They're still out there. I like the old timers too, like Jim Rohn. I like John Maxwell, who I named my son after. Maxwell's a dear friend of mine, lives here in Palm Beach. So I like to feed my mind. Now, some of you like to read, so the Bible is a great place, or whatever you do to find good messages. Some of you like music, whatever it takes. Get fired up before you do anything in the day. Okay. Next, prospecting. I'm just going to go through these because I'm going to cover some of these. All right. Building rapport. You have to build relationships, and you're going to have to learn. I'm going to take you through a series of how to do it on Zoom and Skype and all that today. Next, qualification. You need to qualify people better, because your time is even more important. And by the way, they've done research that people lose interest a lot quicker right now because they don't have to pay attention to you on Zooms or Skypes or phone calls. But if you're in front of them, they have to, work with you and talk to you. So we're going to talk about that. Handling concerns. You got to learn how to handle objections. I'll teach you how to do that a little bit. Closing the sale, which is I'm the master at that. I'm in the top 10 in the world for teaching platform and closing techniques. And that's why people like Tony Robbins and Get Motivated and Success Resources and Richard Branson use me for their companies. Getting quality referrals. I'll talk a little bit about that also. So this is what I'm going to cover. And then you got to keep your attitude, enthusiasm, and systems. So if I could show you guys how to do what's on that screen right now, what would that be worth to you? Well, it would be priceless. So let's get started. Here, I know a lot of you don't know me. So Brian Tracy, who wrote the last forward for my books, The Smart Startup, just says some nice things about me there. And then here's John Maxwell, my dear friend, who says that my systems are an outstanding tool for bridging this gap. Anyway, just thought I'd show you that. So let's talk about prospecting, because prospecting is the number one thing that most people are feeling. They're not getting enough leads, right? Meaning they're getting the leads, but they're not getting them as much as they want. So I'm going to talk to you about, regardless of what you're selling, prospecting is the master key to your success. So the major types of prospecting. Number one, marketing. Now we know marketing is branding. So make sure that you're branding yourself properly. As I just said, if you guys check out my website is brand new. I invested a lot of money in my website because I wanted my website to be very interactive and be not just a brochure. So I wanted my website to generate income. So I made everything online, and people can log in and use my materials as they purchase for them. They can do coaching, they can do group coaching, they can do all these different things. So your marketing should be more than just a brochure. Make sure it sells something to somebody, right? Next, face-to-face. Now, that's a little more difficult now. So make sure that if you do face-to-face, of course, you're practicing social distancing, but you can still do face-to-face. I still meet with people on coaching that live around here and mentoring, but I meet with them and we wear a mask. And then if we're about 8 feet away from each other, we'll take them, get a cup of coffee and talk and things like that. So you've got to do all that stuff too. Okay. And then the next one is telephone skills. A lot of folks are forgetting the phone. Now let's talk about the phone. Where a lot of people are not really responding to phone calls. They're doing more texting and message texting. And so make sure that your texts are very clean and clear and precise. We're getting a lot of heat, for lack of a better word, from other companies that we're working with, saying that their people are texting by just talking into their voicemail while they're driving, or texting and not being very clear, and it sends the wrong messages to the client. So make sure you text, but don't count on just texts. But texts are very effective right now. But make sure if you send a text, follow up with a phone call. Follow up with a phone call. I'm doing right now training for banks because the banks are having me create programs because their people are not talking to their clients. They're like, talking to them and handing them off to the customer service to handle all the stuff. So I've had to create a program for banks right now. I'm sure it could be used for a lot of different businesses, but for banks, because the people are not talking to their clients. Next, referrals. Referrals are the name of the game in business. You want to get referrals, and the way you get referrals is by building relationships, especially in a community like we have. And the one thing I noticed, I work with a lot of people here. In fact, some of you that are on this call, I use your services like Avanti. I've been using you for 20 some years. And I moved last year and I used one of your services that are on here. So I believe that the way you build relationships is very important. So get involved like you're doing by being on these conference calls and Zooms. Go to the meetings. I go to as many meetings as I can. I travel a lot. Get involved in the community. Do different things. Like I'm on the board of governors at Nova Southeast University. I'm on the board of directors at Wayne Huizinga School of Entrepreneurs. I'm involved with a lot of different things here. And I think it's very important that you get involved. The way I see it, to get referrals, if people see you involved in your community, why wouldn't you want to give them the business? They're in your community, they're giving back, and they're not there to get, but when people are doing that, my brother's a chiropractor in town. He's so involved in the Knights of Columbus and the church and the different things that he does, that the school, he does like free things for all the kids. He's the doctor for the school, doesn't charge a dime. So when people need a chiropractor, they go see my brother. And the reason is because he's just out there giving. He just gives. He doesn't look to get back, but that's what happens. So I want you to get referrals. Number one, build the relationship. Number two, follow up and follow through. Do a great job. Make sure your people do a great job or you do a great job, but make sure you follow up and follow through. One of my friends who did very well, Joe Walsh, who owned Yellow Book USA, became a billionaire in 2007. I worked with him when he only had 3 states. I brought him to 48 states. He brought me on as part of his company. And he always said, under promise and over deliver. I know you've heard that before, but the key is to under promise and over deliver. And here you go, guys. Ask for referrals. Ask for referrals. I think a lot of us don't ask for referrals enough. Every time you talk to someone, whether they do business or not, ask for a referral. I like to ask for at least 3 referrals. If I train a company, like I just trained BB&T, where did that come from? That came from a company called One Valley Bank from West Virginia. I trained them and they bought BB&T. So I said to Ken Summers, the CEO, I said, could you do me a favor? Nobody's going to know me at BB&T. And he said, well, Omar, let me introduce you to the top people. So we went to dinner with the top people, and now I do all their customer service and sales training. Why? Because I asked for it. A lot of times, guys, you guys know this, that when you're working with a company and also all of a sudden they get bought out or the leadership changes, you're out. So please ask the person that you're working with to say, hey, could you make an introduction before you leave? I really love working with you guys. And I know that, if you make an introduction, it'll be a lot easier for me to build my relationship with them. So please ask. And what I do is I ask great questions. And remember, the bigger, the better the question, the better the answers, right? Next, here we go. Social networking. Now we're going to get into it, all right? I have had to learn this so much. Guys, I have never had to be on anything because, not to brag, I became very wealthy at the age of 31, never having to work another day in my life. I sold the biggest health clubs in the United States. And I was like, all of a sudden I got a book deal because of my mentors, Zig Ziglar and Tom Hopkins and Brian Tracy. Then I got a second book deal. Then I got a book, another. And then I got put on the biggest stages in the world, Get Motivated and Success Resources. So I've never had to do any marketing because I had 80 cities a year. And I was like, so all of a sudden, last year, I've had to learn how to do this. So we started doing my LinkedIn, believe it or not, about a year and a half ago, but we weren't even focused on it. You can look me up. I only had about a couple hundred people on my LinkedIn last March. Now we have over 10,000, and we did it organically. What does that mean, Omar? Well, you go on there every day, and the way we do it is we find like-minded people. So we look for it. I'm giving you my example, using me as an example. We look for people that do what we do, what we want to do, like speakers, coaches, mentors, companies that need us, mortgage, sales companies, anywhere that, someone that needs us, we click on and start the relationship. So don't just click on and bring them in. Make sure that you have some nice verbiage that you can use. So we have, for our companies we train, we've created a funnel. And a funnel, when someone clicks on them, they say, hey, great to connect with you, looking forward to getting to know you. What is it? How can I help you? Did you hear that? Don't just try to sell somebody right off the bat. We always say, hey, thank you for connecting. We look forward to building our network together. And how can we help you? And the people go, wow, you mean you're not just trying to sell me something right away? No. How can we help you? How can we help your network and build your business? And then they respond, well, this is what I do. I'm a realtor. And if you know of anyone who wants to list their home or buy a home or rent a home or a property, please refer them to me. And we will, we're going to check you out. We want to make sure you under promise and over deliver and you do the right thing. And we do refer people. And we do that all day long. So we build a relationship. Then when you do something nice like that, people say, how can I help you? And you say, well, it's funny you should ask. I'm an author. I'm a mentor. I'm a speaker. I'm a coach. And we help other companies. In fact, guys, I just finished training the Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill Foundation, Think and Grow Rich. I did a 3-day mastermind for them. And, there was 22 people there that paid $20,000 each to be with me for 3 days. And so I've developed this reputation for really helping others. So you do that came from me meeting the Napoleon Hill Foundation and being friends with Sharon Lecter and John Shin, a lot of the people that are involved in Think and Grow Rich. So that was fun. So the next thing, Instagram. Now, if you go on my Instagram, you'll see how we're doing the same thing I'm asking you to do. We're creating baby steps. In fact, we're now asking everyone to go to my Facebook business because my personal has been full for about 6 months now. So we have like 500 people sitting there wanting to be in my Facebook that we have to email all the time and say, could you please go to our corporate? So if you have a personal and a corporate, make sure that when it's full, you move them to your corporate. How do we do that? Give great content, right? If you look at if you sign up, it's free, Facebook or Instagram, you'll get a lot of great messages every day. We give a lot of great content that helps you with your business on a daily basis. Great content will help you every day. So important. I speak with a gentleman named Gary Vandercheck, and he's the one that taught me that. So when I was sitting in the green room about 3 years ago, he says, Omar, you're like the best kept secret. What are you doing? So as of March, I called him up. I said, what do I need to do? He says, you need to put out more content. So that's all we're doing. Content. You'll see I'm doing videos 3 times a week. I do 5 videos for my team and they put them out. And we're doing more of it, more and more. We just started, guys. So I'm teaching you what I'm learning. I paid a lot of money to have people tell me what to do. I'm sharing with you. So Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, any other thing. I'm not going to mention all the other stuff because there's a lot of little things that we do that you might say, oh, that's not for me. Social networking is very important and use it as a prospecting tool. Please use it as a prospecting tool. It's okay to reach out to people and say, hey, I'm in your community. I do this. How can I help you? How can we help each other? But first say, how can I help you? And when they say, how can I help you? Say, why don't we help each other? And you build that. So these are the 5 major ways to build your business. I'll take questions later in a little bit, okay? So you'll tell me when I have to do that, Allison. Just give me a nod. So the key is to look at everyone as a prospect, or at least someone who you may know someone that's a prospect. So now, since we're social distancing, I want you to practice Omar's 6-foot rule. Anybody that's 6 feet from you, I want you to talk about what you do. All right? And what you do is I want you to create a 2-minute and a 3-minute speech. A 2-minute and a 3-minute speech. A little, a little talk that asks questions, talks about you. So practice Omar's 6-foot rule. Even if you're wearing a mask, it's okay. Just be 6 feet away. Be very respectful, right? And then just practice Omar's 6-foot rule. All right. Next, create a sales funnel. When you're selling, one of the keys that we're finding, if you're doing closing sales and servicing, most people forget to keep the funnel full. Keep the funnel full. Never stop prospecting. I want you to think about it. You should be investing 80% of your day in prospecting, right? And of course, I couldn't fit them all in there, but don't forget social networking and all the different things, which is, by the way, we're getting a lot of traction. Today am doing 4 Zoom calls for companies, 4. And I used to get on a plane and fly and speak and come back. And you know what? I'm okay with it for now. I do miss talking to people and interacting and coaching and mentoring one-on-one, face-to-face, but I still do that here in the Florida area, but I don't do it. I've got people in the UK, Australia, LA, New York, Chicago, Seattle. So I'm doing all Zoom. So, all right. So if you do that, you're going to create a good sales process. I want you to really think about streamlining your sales process. It's very important. All right. So investigative selling is nothing but a numbers game. That's my program, investigative selling. So here's what I want you to do is to realize that activity is the key. Activity. And what I want you to do is do what works for you and your company best first. But don't be afraid to have a 360-degree view of what you can do. Because if you just do one thing when it dries up for you, like I've got one company, I've had to totally revamp. They're an insurance company, one of the biggest insurance companies in the world. And I've had to totally revamp them. You know why? Because they were doing mostly cold calling and meetings to bring people in. And now they ran out of phone numbers. They kept buying numbers, but their warm market was dead, and their phone calls were dead. So I had to teach them all the stuff I just talked to you about, but more in depth. Remember, activity equals contacts. Contacts equals presentations, and presentations equals closed sales. That's how you get results. Let me say it again. Activity equals contacts. Contacts equals presentations, and presentations equals closed sales. So how do you do that, Omar? Well, what I want to teach you is to become better at closing, because if you become better at closing, your conversion ratio is going to be better. And if your conversion ratio is better, then you're closing more people and making more money. And that's my goal for you. So remember, the more you do, the more you do, the more you do, the more you make. When you start doing this, like people say to me, Omar, I'm afraid of prospecting. And you know what? When I started when I was 19 years old, a few years ago, I was afraid of I hated prospecting. So, you know, my mentors set me down and they taught me, my mentors, Tom Murphy, Zig Ziglar, Brian Tracy, Tom Hopkins. You know, they said to me, Omar, what do you want to do in life? I said, well, I want to be successful. Why? I want to buy my parents a home. I want to have a car that's got air conditioning and runs. I want to have an apartment that I can walk around in. I want to be a singer. I was studying opera. I'm a lyric tenor. And I wanted to sing, and I want to buy a record company. I said, well, guess what, son? That They still call me son. It's hilarious. That prospecting hurdle is a hurdle because I ran track, right? So they said, that's your hurdles. You need to go over those hurdles to get to the finish line. So look at that process, because I was a sprinter in high school and college. And so they said, you were a hurdler. What did you do? I had to go over the hurdle. You've got to take the hurdle of prospecting and overcome it. So I got it. I went, wow, yeah, that's true. If I don't prospect, I'm never going to make it. I'm never going to be a top producer. I'm never going to own my own health clubs. I'm never going to own a record company, which means I'll never get to sing and I'll never get to buy my parents a house. And so that hurdle became nothing but, in the morning, I tell everybody, it's like putting on your clothes. You just put it on. It's automatic. Write that down. It's automatic. Prospecting is automatic. Don't think about it. See, when you start thinking about it, you talk yourself out of stuff. You start saying, you know what? Let's say you call a few people and the first one says, no, you have an appointment. They cancel. The third person doesn't show up for your appointment. Now you're like, you know what? I think today I'm going to get organized. And mañana never comes. What are you doing? You're talking yourself out of unpleasant activity. You understand? So I want you to fall in love with the word no. Fall in love with the word no. All right? So I'm going to get into that right after this. I want to give you the 7 best networking questions you can ask. Remember, we're recording this. These are the 7 according to my book, my new book that's coming out, The Power of Motivation. I have 3 new books coming. 2 will be out at the end of this month. Okay? So I'm still working. I'm writing. I'm here looking at the ocean, writing here, and just keep moving. Got to keep moving, right? Got to keep moving. Here are the 7 best networking questions according to this new book. How did you get your start in business? How did you get your start in business? Well, people love to talk about how they got started. You know that, right? So now you just ask that question and listen. Number 2, what do you enjoy most about what you do? What do you enjoy most about what you do? And let people talk. Number 3, because I want to get into the training. What separates your company from your competition? Wow, that's a good one. What makes you better? Write this down if you're writing. What is your unique selling proposition? What makes you so special? Right? Next, what advice would you give someone just getting started in your business? Say you're just getting started in real estate, mortgages, insurance, whatever it is. What advice would you give me? Next, what do you see as the coming trends in your business? That's a good one to get the conversation going, right? How about this one, guys? What ways have you found to be most effective promoting your business? We're talking about social media, marketing, branding. What is the best way, especially for you guys that do marketing? This is a winner for you. And the last one I like a lot. What one sentence would you like people to use describing the way you do business? So those are the 7 tops. If you want, you can take a picture of that real quick. I don't care. I'm not that guy. I'm here to share with you. It's like, oh, it's my PowerPoint. No, I'm here to share with you. Take a shot. All right, I'm going to move on. All right, so create and just give me like 15 minutes, Allison, when I only have 15 minutes left. Create a fundamentally sound presentation for closing. So once you get the lead and you set the appointment or the Zoom or the Skype, build the rapport, build the relationship. It's taking a little longer now with the Zoom and Skype and all that and the social distancing. So make sure you really put a lot of energy into that. Next, create an interest statement. An interest statement is a statement that show why people are using your product. Bill, Mary, there's a reason why XYZ uses my company, and it's because, and go into that, right? So you create an interest statement. Then, of course, gather the information. I teach a little acronym called NEADS, and it's misspelled NEADS, NEADS. So I ask, what do you use now? What do you have now? I mean, I'll use something I didn't see any automobile dealerships on the call. So let's say somebody pulls in an SUV. Past predicts future. So if the person walks in with an SUV, they probably want an SUV. So when they walk in, you say, what are you driving now? Well, I drive an SUV. Well, you saw that. Yes. Well, what do you enjoy about that SUV? Well, I have 4 kids, and we do a lot of sports. So I really like the openness, the freedom, and the easy entry and access for things like lacrosse sticks and basketballs and soccer balls, that kind of thing. Great. And then you say, well, what would you like to alter, improve, or change about what you have now? Well, I love this SUV, Omar, but I wish it was more high tech. And I wish that, the kids could be more streamlined and it was a little more comfortable. This one's not as comfortable I like. And by the way, gas mileage is very important to me. Wow. And now, are you the one that's going to make the decision, or do you need your partner here? No, I make the decision. I've got full permission to do it. Great. So as your professional problem solver, you're not going to say that I'm telling you that. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to look at some different models. Let's go for a test drive, and I want to come up with a solution for you. I am your source. I promise you, I will find the right vehicle for you, and you're going to be very happy. How does that sound to you? Great. Let's get started. Now, what do you have now? What do you enjoy? What would you like to alter, improve? Who's the decision maker? And I come up with a solution. Very simple. See, I think people make selling too difficult. Don't make it so difficult. Get out of your head. Do what I teach. If you practice one of my skills a week for 52 weeks, I guarantee you will double your income. I promise. There's a reason why I'm booked solid. I'm doing 5 Zooms today for companies. 5. And by the way, I get $7,500 a Zoom. So I want you guys to take this stuff and own it. Then remember, don't forget, and I wish I had time to cover this, benefits, features to get results. Point out the benefits, point out the features, and then tell them what that means to them. Next, cover all the details, delivery, time frame, budgets, everything that's included. And then, of course, test close. A test close is using a verbiage that I teach, but I learned from my mentors. I must tell you that test where they are now. For instance, Mary, how are you feeling about all this so far? Well, Omar, I like it. It sounds good. John, can you see why we're so excited about this new product? Yes. Oh, see what I mean? You're testing. Do they like what you're doing, what you're saying? That's called a test close. Now, I'm going to give you 7 steps to handle rejection and failure, right? Because when you're prospecting and you're selling and you're closing, or you're working with people in your office or in your Zoom or whatever, some people, like Zig Ziglar would say, we were on tour before he passed, and this group of people get on a shuttle bus. We're going to the hotel where we're speaking at, and this woman says to the other lady, she says, well, he doesn't look so motivating to me. And she walks away. He says, what am I supposed to jump around in the bus? It's like, he says, and then he made this cute comment. He was funnier than heck. He said, who licked the candy off of her Tootsie Roll? Which I love. Miss that guy a lot. So the first thing I want you to do is expect rejection, guys. Get the you out of failure. I talked to John Maxwell a lot about that. As I said, I named my boy after him. He's such a good man. Expect rejection. Get the you out of failure. Learn to write this down. Ready? Learn to, and John taught me this when I was a young man, learn to fail forward faster. Learn to fail forward faster, right? Right? Make sure you got, like Les Brown says, you got to have comeback power, right? You got to be hungry. Don't let people take your hunger away. You got to be hungry, as he says. Nobody says it like he does. Next thing, change something. If something's not working, stop doing it, for goodness sakes. I trained 15 years ago the #1 pager company in the world. It was called AirTouch Paging. And the gentleman said to me, Omar, I think things are going to change. So I'm selling this company right now. And he sold the company in 2005 for a lot of money. Can you imagine if he still owned that company? Would it be worth? 0. He became a multi-millionaire, sold that company for $800 million and opened up a restaurant in Scottsdale, Arizona, and now is a chef, and he loves it. So timing is important. Don't ride a dead horse, right? Invest in yourself. Guys, I got here because I dived into self-development. You know, my mentor was Tom Murphy, who managed speakers. He owned a company called Champions Unlimited, and he managed Bob Proctor, Jim Rohn, Tom Hopkins, worked with Tony Robbins, because you know Jim Rohn worked with Tony Robbins. Um, you know, you name it, Dennis Waitley, Kenneth Blanchard, he managed these people, Danielle Kennedy. So I got lucky. I got to hang around with these people every weekend at his house and talk about self-development. And they would give me their libraries, and some I paid for their boot camps, but they changed my life. Guys, in school, I don't even have a degree. I had 6 months to go, but I had to get a job to feed the family. I mean, when I got a C at my house, my mom pulled out the sherry. We're Cubans. She pulled out the sangria. Oh my God, a C. Let's celebrate. You know, it's like I spent half my time in the coat room in Chicago, you know, facing the coats, you know, because I was in trouble. Anyway, listen to, watch, read motivational learning materials, music. You know what? I listen to the old timers. I listen to the new timers. I listen to what's going on today. Sometimes I listen to myself. I have really good stuff. I forget what I teach, you know. So talk to positive people. Get away from anyone that's negative. Now, if you live with them, that's hard. So it's very important you isolate yourself and focus yourself and get into positive. Remember, if it doesn't serve you, don't say it, don't own it, don't think it. Talk to positive people. Join an inspired crowd. Don't hang around, people that bring you down. Next, manage your mental input. You know, don't consciously avoid putting yourself down. Use positive affirmations, self-talk, meditation. If it doesn't serve you, don't say it, don't own it, don't think it. Be careful what you eat. I told you earlier. I eat really good. I don't know, I don't now, by the way, I take 1 day a week and I do whatever I want. I'll eat whatever the heck I want. Anything. Once a week, I go off. But I'll tell you, my body feels it the next day. But that's the way I do it. You can't just be perfect all the time. You got to let go, So, and take a day off for food or working out if you have to. And then, my mentor Jim Rohn just say, treat your body like a temple, not a woodshed, which I thought's pretty good. Treat your body like a temple, not a woodshed. And proper exercises, guys. At night when you come home, take a walk, walk the dog, walk with your kids, walk with your partner, do something to release. This time, with all the things that are going on, I walk twice a day. I walk early in the morning and I walk at night. Why? Because it just releases my mind and lets me think and talk. And if you want, put on some audios and listen to Audible and all that. And I'm on all that stuff. And just get your mind out of there, okay? This is what Zig Ziglar, he wrote only 3 forewords in his life. One was mine, from management to leadership. And of course, Jim Rohn, both of them passed away. But if you ever get a chance to listen to these gentlemen, please do. They're amazing, amazing.
Omar, you got 15 minutes.
All right, so what I'm going to do is, let's see, I don't have enough time to cover this. So I'll go real quick, and then this is going to be on your PowerPoint. And any of you that have questions or anything, I'm going to give you my personal email. It's real simple. It's my name, Omar Periu, OMARPERIU @gmail.com. Okay? And just send me an email. Hey, Omar, thank you. I have a question. But we're going to take questions now. I'm going to go real quick. Okay? So how to become a stronger closer in today's marketplace. Number 1, assume the prospect will buy. Now, you could call them client, customer, whatever. I just want to call it prospects, because we take suspects, turn them into prospects. We close them. Number 2, build a sale with minor agreements, okay? Number 3, don't get off the subject when closing, okay? Number 4, use words like this. Let's go ahead with this. Let's set it up this way, right? Remember, this is all being recorded. You can go back to it. Back up your solutions with good reasons to buy your products or services. Number 5, to clinch a sale, demonstrate proof if you can, like usage figures, testimonials, case histories, and all that. Number 6, be alert for closing signals, like statements that say, oh, I like it, this and that and that, all right? And then don't oversell. You can oversell, all right? remember, price has always been 95% the biggest objection. So sometime I'll share that with you, how to handle that. Be persistent. One of my top companies says because of what I taught them, they have a 40% increase in their sales. And number 10, don't forget to ask for the order. You can always go back and regroup and summarize your presentation and get them back into the presentation. Now, I have a little something for you guys. I'll go real quick because I'm not here to sell you something. But for those of you that want to get on board with me, I have a little library. Here it is. Looks like that. It's not going to look like that because it's all online. We'll send it to you. And I have a little library. You get these audios on goal setting, sales, investigative negotiations, selling. These come with workbooks, some of them. You're going to get newsletters for a year, 2 a day. We get 2 a month. You get tickets once. We're going to start doing events in late spring, small event, like 20 people at the Marriott. You get tickets to that. You get the profile of an entrepreneur. You get a lot of bonuses. I can't cover them for the first 7 people to sign up. And normally this is $6,864. However, for you guys, because you're part of the chamber and part of this family, I do call it a family. I've been friends and family with them for literally 20, 30 years, really. So it'll be $197. That's 53 cents a day for a year. For $197, you get all that, and there's more. I'll do a one-on-one meeting with you guys, face-to-face or on Zoom for an hour with you and go over your goals or your business or anything you want to talk about. All you got to do is you can go to my Gmail and say, I want it, and we'll call you. Omar Periu at gmail.com. That's OMARPERIU at gmail.com. Or call me personally. I'm going to give you my personal phone number, 561-843-1137, 561-843-1137. All right. And here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give you some bonuses, and we're doing it at the Marriott there by Rocco's Tacos and all that good stuff. Tap 42. Anyway, I'd like to take your questions. So do you have any questions for me, guys? I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm sorry I didn't get I always put in too much, but I wish I had like 3 hours, but go ahead. Any questions, please?
I have a question, Omar.
Yes, Jonathan.
In your process, your prospecting to closing process, I missed a part talking about qualifying. What are your thoughts on qualifying and how hard you have to qualify?
Nowadays, you got to qualify even more. And you have to qualify if they're right a right fit for you, because your time is so valuable, right? So what I do is when we talk, let's say my business, when we talk to our clients, we talk to them about, we want to train your company, but we want to make sure we're the right fit. So what we do is here's what we do. I don't know if you have this. We created a questionnaire that we go over with them. So, and we call the questionnaire Accelerator. It's called, we accelerate and ask. And we come up with questions that we say, like, for instance, what do you do, Jonathan?
I'm in digital marketing, websites, okay. SEO, storytelling.
Perfect. So you send them a questionnaire about, what you do. And you say, here's the things that we do. Now you're online with them on Zoom, right? You're taking them through it, right? And then you take them through the questions that you have created. Maybe you take like 5 questions, but right. And then you say, considering everything you've said to me, what I'd like to do is take the things that we talked about, and I'd like to create a free consultation for you, a survey. I will survey and consult you and go over the things that I feel you need. I'm going to send this to you. And when I do, let's set up a time. I'll take you through it. I really think I can bring value and more, whatever, eyeballs to your site or whatever it is, right? So the key is, I think, number one, qualify stronger by make sure they're a good fit for you. How do you do that? The survey approach. How do you do that? Asking the right questions, and then making sure that you don't just send them stuff without getting in front of them. Because most people do that, and you lose people because you're doing Zoom and they don't want to meet you. A lot of people got kids. I got one company that the owner of the company, his kids have challenges with medical. So they're not going to meet you for anything. So Yeah, the key is, number one, have a survey approach, ask the right questions, build the relationship, and then make sure that you're not wasting your time. Make sure that they can, number one, afford it. If they can afford you, if they're looking for you to go do a GoDaddy website, then, they're not for you, right? Yeah, there you go.
Right.
Bye-bye. You don't have time. So I want you to
Right.
really go through the process quicker. That's what you do. Just go through the process quicker. But I'm sure you have a survey that you can send out or a questionnaire and say, hey, Bill.
We have questions we've built over time. Yeah, we just always want to find out how committed they really are to change.
Exactly.
If they're not really committed to change, they're not going to be committed to paying us. So,
exactly. And they're not,
how much time do you want to spend on that?
And they're not committed to growing. See, when March came, I was booked 50 times and it went from 50 to 0. So I called my marketing team and I said, hey, we need to get the best of the best and redo all this stuff. And they said, well, we can do it. So we hired consultants and went through. Now, of course, there's always room for improvement, as you know. And so what we did is we went out and we took everything I had was on MP3s. We took everything, put it all on online. So now we're in Audible, Teachable, Udemy, iTunes, Ucore, all those things because we invested in that, and that's what they need to realize. To use you, Jonathan, they need to invest in their future. And if they don't, they're going to die. They're going to die because if you don't invest in what you do, it's over. Every time I see
that's what we tell them. The only constant is change. If
right.
they're not willing to change, as business, they're going to get run over.
And, one of the things I notice, most people, their websites are nothing but a brochure. So, yeah, great. I hope that answers your question.
Yes. Thank you so much, Omar.
All right. Thank you, Jonathan. Look forward to meeting you. All right. Next question, please. Anyone? No such thing as a bad question. I'm here. Anybody? Don't be afraid.
Omar, question I have. I'm a realtor and the market has changed tremendously. It's so tight. And I built connections and stuff. Any other recommendations you can give me? Find new connections.
Yes, I find that the best realtors right now, and I'm training a few companies I won't mention because I don't know you're with, but the best realtors, meaning the top producers, are really into social media and branding. They're really creating their own brand, if you will. Like, for instance, Team Gloria. I'm just talking about it. Like, say, hey, this is Team Gloria and whatever. And then be a social media, have your own branding, have your own Instagram. You got to be right on it. A lot of content, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. And remember, every group has a different demographics. I'm sure Jonathan can tell you that. So make sure my kids don't even go on Facebook. They call it old book, So
that's for old people now. Like,
I'm doing TikTok, guys. I did TikTok. I got into a car that I own and I got 167,000 views. And my daughter goes, see, Dad, I told you so. Because my daughter has 30,000 people following her for her stuff. And she's in college at University of Miami. And my son's at UF. And he sells stuff online. I'm sure Jonathan knows about this. He sells Supreme and Yeezy shoes online and makes a couple grand a week at school. He's in business school at UF on a full scholarship. So you guys, get yourself out there marketing. And the main thing, it doesn't take, it takes money, but if you don't have the money, start putting out content. And what I would do if I was a realtor, I would tell people, here's, put your listings up, show people what you did, take pictures of yourself selling the home or having a happy customer, going to the closing. I would show the work that the way you stage the home, the way you get involved in the sale, the way you do customer service. Just make sure you're really on it and showing that you're better than your competition.
Thank you. Yeah, great. Thanks.
Thank you.
Eileen had a
Anybody else?
question. Eileen Rosenthal had a question.
Yes?
I'm just wondering how you find enough time to do all these things, how you can make videos, how you can keep up every day and post new things or find new things to post and know everything's going on. I'm just overwhelmed.
I get it. And I have the answer for you. What I did is I hired 2 people and they do it for me. Now you can hire someone, and I hired people that are not real expensive, and they have people working for them out of the country, and they do it for. What we do is we have a meeting once a week, and we go over the content, and then they put it into this. Jonathan will have to tell you some system that drips 3 times to 5 times a day into Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, all that. And then you have to have someone to manage it for you if you can afford it. And now if you can, what I did at first, I would take 3 days a week, take 30 minutes, create content, create videos, and then put them out. You don't see what people think is they have to do it every day. You don't have to do it every day. If you do it 3 days a week, and let's say you did, Eileen, you did 5 videos 3 days a week. That's 15 videos. That's twice a day. See? So you just got, I know it's hard, but you just got to do it. Look, my team hit me over the head for months. I'm finally doing it. I didn't want to do it. I could find out, maybe that's not interesting enough. No, my marketing says, look, Omar, if you move the salt shaker from this place to that place and say something, that's good enough. I'm like, okay. So now I just do crazy stuff. Hey guys, I'm getting up. I'm walking on the beach. Remember to feed your mind and body. Make sure move. And, and then I make a little thing. And they don't have to be long. You know that. They shouldn't be longer than 30 seconds. No longer than 15 to 30 seconds. And again, I'm telling you what I was taught by my people. And I'm still learning. And I hope that helps you. But what you do is you block times where you can do this for yourself and just knock it out. Don't think. And by the way, Jonathan says he can help you. So reach out to Jonathan. And, when you got somebody that knows what to do, it's worth investing, guys. It's worth investing.
And Omar, I can add something very quick to that. When you do post on any of the platforms, if you tag us at Boca Chamber, we're going to repost your content.
Yep, they will.
And so that's just getting even more eyes on it. And we're on every platform. Jonathan, thank you for that. We're on every platform.
So
I have a quick comment. I'm like the voice of Oz over here. I'm Chastity. For those of you who are a little nervous about posting any kind of videos onto social media and you're new at it, you can do something that's super quick until you get better at it. And you can just do like fast facts about something that you do, your business, whatever it is that you do. If you're a realtor, you can give a fast facts of did you know? The more did you knows that you add on your little social video platform, which could be less than a minute, less than 20 seconds, more people are going to come back to find out what your fast facts are and just brand yourself. And the more experience you get with making those little videos. Oh, I got a thumbs up from Jonathan.
It's great advice.
Experience that you get, the more stuff you'll start to add, and it'll become a breeze, and you'll find that you'll be making those 3 to 4 videos a week. You can start with just a couple of quick seconds. My name is so-and-so, my company is this, and here's a fast fact for you. That's my little Oz input over here.
But it's great advice. And, I'm going to circle back to something Omar said, which I think is really key. You have to do it. The key in getting something done is executing. And if I tell people, and I give away a lot of free advice because I just like to help people. I don't care. I don't, monetize helping people. There are companies that pay me, but if I help anybody make a change, just like Omar, we want to help people make positive change. I got a phone, like y'all have a phone. This phone takes 4K video, which is like insane. We used to pay thousands of dollars for cameras. So you don't even need 4K. I got a $10 selfie stick. $10 from Amazon. I got a microphone that puts $10. So there's no barrier to that. And just like Chastity said, if you start exactly what we tell our clients, do a top 3. The top 3 things you need to know about the Palm Beach real estate market, the top 3 things you need to know about branding and logos, the top 3 things you need to know about starting a bit. You know, it's only 3. You tell the audience you only have to hang in there for 3. It's not going to be a long video. You only have to hang in there for 3. These things are all less than a minute, less than 45 seconds. And when you give people these quick, digestible bites of information, they go, give me more, give me more. When I look at a video and I see 45 minutes, an hour, I go, whoa, whoa. It's intimidating for you to make, and it's very intimidating, a big turnoff for the viewer. I'll share with you all, and Omar knows this. 90 seconds is your cliff. 90 seconds on content is your cliff. Viewers will stay with you to about 89 seconds, and then they all, like lemmings, jump off at 90 seconds. After that, we do a quarter's worth of content on video content for clients in 1/2 day. Then we post it from the, I'm not giving it a commercial, I'm just saying, we create a quarter's worth of content in 1/2 day of shooting. And then we put it out for them the rest of the quarter. That's the kind of investment.
Right.
And we'll also train people to do it themselves. So it takes a little bit of pre-production up front, and then it takes discipline to put it out there. But that's how you build a brand. Like Roz will tell you, you got to build a brand with repetition and your logo and putting it out there consistently, right, Roz? You got to be consistent. And if you're consistent and add value, then people will follow you. And don't get hung up on the number of likes and views at the beginning. Don't get hung up on that. Just keep going. Keep going.
Perfect. Good stuff. Good stuff. Thank you, Jonathan. And guys, I think, you know, so do we have a link for them to get a free ebook from me, the Get Fired Up, or do they have to go on the site to get it?
Chaz, can you answer that question?
Omar, if you can send me the link, I can send it with a thank you email so that everybody has the link.
Okay, so I'll send you a link, guys. There's a book called Get Fired Up on motivation. I'll send to you. The whole thing is free, complimentary for me as a gift. You're not going to get like 7 pages and tell you to purchase it. You'll get the whole 196, okay? And it's a gift from me for all you guys, so you can go through it and teach it to your people. It's got 101 ways to get motivated and stay motivated on there. And by the way, I coach and mentor companies. For any of you guys that are interested, you can reach out to me. So.
Great. Thank you so much, Omar.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any more questions? Anything else for Omar? Omar, any parting words for everybody?
You know, I just want to tell everybody that, you know, we have really doing a great job of fighting through this, and just realize that this too shall pass. We just have to keep fighting through it and focus on your prospecting, because prospecting is the biggest challenge for everybody right now because of what we're going through. So focus on prospecting and qualifying, like Jonathan said, prospecting, qualifying, and then handling objections and close the sale. And don't forget to get referrals. So I want you to really think about getting more referrals, prospecting, and build your funnel. Keep the funnel full. Keep the funnel full. And, you know, get out there. Get out there and you know, get out of your, if you're sitting at home and working from home, get out, take a walk, get your mind focused, get your mind right? And stay positive. That's why I'm giving you that Get Fired Up.
Thanks, Omar. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And, you know, like Omar said, please, you know, like and follow our pages as well. We do have a lot of great content, and we'll repost yours. Please look at our schedule, you know, our events online. We have lots of great stuff coming up. And Omar, as always, thank you so much for your wisdom. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. And I look forward to meeting each and every one of you at the chamber. Thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing you. Thank you. Keep up the great work, guys. Keep up the great work.
Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you.